Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching the Daybreak. My name is Edirisa Mwonge. Always here by God's grace, and very, very grateful to you, ladies and gentlemen, who spare your time to watch us. Thank you so much for believing in us. There are so many stations, but if you choose to, to select BTM TV, we cannot take that for granted. We are very, very grateful to you. Now, before I took a break, I was expressing my disappointment, sharing my disappointment with you, viewers, about this lady, Miss Nanyondo, a full member of parliament, who regrets, who tells us that appending her signature, she was only hoodwinked. You may say that I was reading things from the sky, but there is a document. There it is. She's addressing the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. And there, she gives you the reference as withdraw of signature. And there she starts. Out of respect, she writes to notify her of her intention to withdraw her signature from the motion seeking to censor 4 backbench commissioners of Parliament. She goes on to tell the Speaker the reason as to why she's doing so. And the reason is that she was hoodwinked into appending her signature to what was disguised as an attendance list to a meeting called by the Leader of Opposition. Now that's where I have the problem with this lady here, which is a lie. And to that end, she tells you that she's writing to categorically withdraw her signature and disassociate herself from the said list. There she is. It will show us that name. Scroll, Mr. Producer. People need to see that name, really. There is her name. Nanyondo Veronica. Mubaka Mwamulonda. Bukomansingi Java. She's a member of parliament representing the people of Bukomansingi. That's not good at all. As I lower my tone, my voice, is because I'm disappointed. This is a member of parliament. And she's not the first of her kind, by the way. We've seen some members. You can also tell that she's not alone in that letter. She's very brief, and the tone she's using, she speaks as if she's speaking, she's the one who's speaking, but you can clearly tell that there are some forces behind her. And the force that is behind her is not light force. It's serious force. I can tell you, Matthias Mpuga and his influence, you cannot undermine his influence in Greater Masaka, where the lady hails from. You cannot undermine his influence there. He's not working alone. You've had Abedi Bwanika, whom some people have described, very, very, by the way, very, very disappointed that the people can now describe Abedi Bwanika like that. You are talking about a 3-time former presidential candidate. They are describing him as the dog of Mpuga. Now, that is one pressure. Could be coming from the leader, from Mpuga, former leader of opposition. And then we can also not rule out that the influence of the Speaker, because the Speaker of Parliament is the one who presided over that meeting, where the cut was discussed. Mpuga, you're taking this, you're taking this, you're taking this. Of course, you cannot drag Mpuga alone. Wherever you're dragging Mpuga, the Speaker of Parliament automatically also falls into that ditch, because she's the one who presided over. She endorsed it. She endorsed it. So if it was illegitimate, she's also a culprit in this case. Now, maybe this lady was pushed to the wall. And you are like, okay, you're going against me. Are you going against me? And you talk about a speaker. And I can tell you, nobody wants to clash with the speaker there. There's one man I've seen here. The man is very determined. Joe Senyonyi is very different in this case. I've seen people trying to work harmoniously with the speaker here and there. They always, they always show her that she's here. But I've seen Senyonyi is not that kind of person. You always throw it the way it is to the speaker. And he even said that before, he was sworn in as he got into that office of leader of opposition. He kind of expressed that he may not be friends with the speaker. Indeed, even when he's speaking, you can see he's not that kind of person who's ready to kneel before the speaker. Unlike his predecessors always put that kind of, created that harmony. Even during the times of course, of other speakers, Rebecca Twalakadaga, it was rare to see a leader of opposition clashing with the speaker. There was always that, harmony. But with Senyu, it's kind of different. Now, leave alone the leader of opposition. But even these other members of parliament, ordinary members of parliament, nobody wants to clash with the speaker because they know what she is capable of denying them. I mean, she endorses almost everything. These trips, abroad, those privileges, even, being a member of a certain committee, which comes, of course, with allowances. If you're in the bad books of the speaker, you don't expect, to benefit from such privileges. And that's why nobody wants to clash with the speaker. Now, this member of parliament, Nanyondo Veronica from Bukoma Nsimbi, probably there is that force that, was exerted on her from either of these two directions that I mentioned. From the Mpuga side or from the speaker's side. That could be, some force that pushed her to the wall and she was left with no choice but rather to call off her signature. She was like, I want to withdraw my signature, because I was hoodwinked. Now it's you who's hoodwinking us, Miss Nanyondo Veronica. It's you who is lying to us, which is very bad. Well, I'm glad you're not lying to me because I'm not your constituent. But the people in your constituency, they're the ones you are, trying to lie to here. You're taking them for granted. And I wish there's a serious candidate, that a serious person that is ready to contest against you. They would use this against you. Yes, if there's anybody who's contemplating standing against you, this is another weapon they should keep in their armory because it's really also another good weapon they could use to hit you. How could you append your signature onto a document that you've not read? How could you not do due diligence? What am I signing? And this is something that began a long time ago. You've been seeing people going there to sign. You knew what they were signing. These people have made it publicly open. They tell you why they are there, and why you should sign. And now here you're telling us that you were lied to. This is really not so good. Now, let me take you back to the document, the lawsuit that was filed against the 4 commissioners I'm talking about here. And these 4 commissioners, we are so much concerned about Mpuga because Mpuga here, he is the biggest dog. We are talking about a former leader of opposition. We also talk about a commissioner, and you talk about a man. When you compare him to these other 3, first of all, he hails from the opposition, which opposition always, puts itself out there as if it is transparent, honest. So why we are zeroing down on Mpuga, people have been wondering that why they are for. Why do we focus so much on Mpuga? Yes, go back not so long ago and see what this man was speaking. Integrity. Integrity. He's been talking about that. Honesty, transparency. Are all 3 words? He has violated them. This act of taking this money. In fact, initially I thought he was going to deny. But I'm surprised to learn. I was surprised to learn that he actually admitted taking the money. Away from politics, there are some other people who have their rights violated. Not only us, the citizens, but the elderly. I'm taking a break. When I come back, I'll be joined by someone who's advocating for the rights of the elderly. It's another suppressed, a group in this country, marginalized group, if you like. Take a break. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Omuvubuka yenna yagenda e Mukono ng'osanga okusoomoozebwa omala mangu enkwaso zo ntono tokyasobola kuyungako lutu ndala emirundi egisinga obungi enkwaso zonna ezisinga obungi zisigalira munda ekikuviirako okulwala prostate. Kozesa prostate relax capsules nnungi nnyo zigenda kujjanjaba owone.
Saako omwami akuliridde mu myaka ng'ofukaafuka ekiro, ng'ofuka omusulo teguggwaayo, ng'omusulo gutonyerera, ng'ofuka omusulo ogulimu olusaayisaayi, ng'olumizibwa mu ndira, ng'olumizibwa omugongo. Prostate relax eno ogyetaaga ejjanjaba endwadde ez'enjawulo ze tutasobodde kwogerako zonna, naye ng'omwami osobola otutuukirira n'otubuulira buli kimu. Ffe aba BF Suma ffe tulina prostate relax. Tuli wano ku Mabirizi complex. Ennamba zaffe ez'essimu 0758 69 29 61. MTN eri 0781 69 29 62. Tuli ku Mabirizi complex. Obuuza Musawo Sulaina Nakaswa.
Aerotech Tours and Travel Limited kye kitongole ekyakakasibwa okusaabaza abantu mu nsi ez'enjawulo omuli USA, Canada n'endala nnyingi nga tukola ne ku visa services nga employment visa, business visa, permanent residence, saako air ticketing. Era tukuyambako ku paperwork eyeetaagisibwa mu kutambula. Tulina tour packages eri aba honeymoon, school tours ne group tours. Bw'osasulako ebitundu 5 ku 100 tukuyambako n'ogenda ebweru, ezisigadde n'ozisasula ng'otuuse. Eri gwe ayagala okugenda okukolera ebweru tukufunira omulimu mu nsi ez'enjawulo. Tulina emmotoka ezitwala abantu ku airport ate n'okubajjayo nga bavudde ebweru w'eggwanga. Tusangibwa Kampala Road ku Damaniko Plaza. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku nnamba zaffe ezowammanga.
A very good morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching still watching the Daybreak on BTM TV here. My name is Idrissa Muwonge, and like I promised that when I come back, I'll be joined by a guest, and I'll allow her to introduce herself. Good to have you, madam.
Thank you so much.
I really have ladies on my show here, so it's a pleasure to have a woman joining us on the Daybreak here.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I go ahead and
Please
introduce
do.
myself? I am called Malaika Gabriela Ligami. Those are my names. I'm the team leader or the CEO for an aged care organization that advocates and supports the This is from age 65 years and above, both men and women in Uganda, and our main vision is to ensure that these marginalized, undeserved, vulnerable and poor older persons live a fulfilled life like any other normal person. So why poor? Because if God is for the children, the women, the youth, the young, the girl mothers, the same God has to be the God of also the older persons. Okay. Yes.
Well, before we do anything, we always have somewhere where we draw our inspiration to do what we always do. What is it inspired you to do what you do?
What inspired me just to go back, I'm an accountant by profession. Yes, I'm good in mathematics and balancing of the books, but my inspiration is when after so many years, when I left and went for studies, then after so many decades, I went back home to my village, being brought up
When you went for studies, you mean you're going abroad?
Something like that. So I went back, being brought up by my grandparents, I found the state which my granddad was in, being a widower by then. He had just lost his beloved wife a year ago. And I saw the house which we used to stay in when I was still 4 years. And this time I've gone back when I'm like in 20s. And I found the house, no windows, stuff like that. So many things. He was blind, and the right is TB. Then the following day when I had a discussion with him, I didn't know that I was coming up with an NGO. So his problems, I got those burdens in my heart. I came back to the city, and I told myself I'll work so hard to improve the life of my granddad, because his own children have forgotten him. He has doctors, he has nurses, he has 11 kids, all of them are doing well. So I felt it and I carried it in my heart. I need to change his life. I didn't know I was going to be a voice of the voiceless. I didn't know I was going to carry the burden of older persons nationally, globally, internationally. And here I am. I'm so proud of what I'm doing, being a voice.
So you thought that indeed, it's not only your grandfather was facing that problem, there are so many other older persons out there who are suffering from the same problems.
Actually, it was him who told me what you've done, because after 3 months when I went back to the village, he had improved, he was looking better and strong, and him himself told me that what you've done to me, go out there and do other people, look for people who look like me. I had not opened my eye to see we had others who look like him. So it burdened my heart, because I wanted to continue with my corporate, my career, my academia in accounts, in what I was doing. But in my heart, I think my passion and my purpose to be here on this blessed motherland, it was for such souls, the undeserved.
When I'm watching movies or documentaries from abroad there, I see the so-called nursing homes.
Yes.
When people reach a certain age in Europe or in the Americas, these people are taken nursing homes. And so there are the programs that are initiated there by governments to take care of the older persons in those countries. Here in Uganda, I don't think we have such arrangements. And speak of older persons, by the way, when you walk on the streets of Kampala late in the night, you're going to see very old people sleeping on the streets of Kampala.
Yes.
So is it because you saw that there was a gap in Uganda where, you know, the government is not taking care of these people, and so you're like, okay, let me come in and fill that gap?
The government has done their part. I congratulate the government of Uganda. They are trying their best. But as I told you, my background, my passion, it came from my granddad. So I moved in that, only to find out what he was telling me as his problems became our objectives and programs.
I think the government has not done enough, because I'll tell you why. The government itself, you speak about, it set aside a certain amount of money.
Yes.
It's very little, not even I think 30,000 that they are going to be giving these people. But it even takes long to come, you know that. We've seen the elderly coming out to say, but we're not getting the money you said we are going to be getting. So the government has not done enough. So you coming in, and maybe alongside other people that are doing the same kind of work you're doing, you're really bridging a very, very huge gap that the government has created between it and the elderly.
Exactly. What? Just to rewind what you had asked me before about the homes. Abroad, the Western world, we have the homes for the elderly. And here we are. In Uganda, we don't have the homes of the elderly. You know, these older persons are really attached to their communities, attached to their land, attached to their small huts in where they are living. And remember, they are also hubs for knowledge. They are also hubs for knowledge and, let me say, like knowledge and upbringing of the community. They have also those norms for the community. So pulling them and bringing them to the home, it becomes so tricky to us. So what we do as aged care organization, and I know also my stakeholders, my other CSOs doing and supporting the needs of the older persons, we support them from their individual homes.
But Ms. Malaika,
yes.
allow me to point out this. If you really come out to advocate for the rights of the elderly, to support them,
Yes.
then I think you should be looking at those who are really in a very bad state. And like I told you, I know so many who are sleeping on the streets of Kampala. After anchoring news here when I'm going back home, I stand on the streets of Kampala and I shake my head. I see old women of 90 years, 78, 80, when they are lying in the streets of Kampala. How about we start with those ones who are homeless? Other than looking at these ones already in their homes, I mean.
It is something that the government under the Ministry of Gender, Older Persons and Disability Department we are looking into, whereby we can be given the right to create homes and pick these older persons and get them to their home. The way we have the orphanage homes, we also have to have the elderly homes. It's something which is supposed to be approved for us to go ahead to do this. So what we do at Jaffa, we attach them to a church. Because churches, we shall have we have a conference hall.
But do you have any plans? You're saying you have an idea.
That's already, it's already happening in Kayunga where we are operating.
No,
Those ones
what you talk about, that you're waiting for the Minister of Gender to approve, what is that?
Yeah, to approve, like, is it okay for us to go ahead and pick these older persons and get them to a home? The way we have the orphanage homes. So can they also allow us to have the older persons' homes to pick them? Because the thing was, these elderly persons, they are really attached to their communities. So when you say we also have those ones who are on the streets, it's now a really, really urgent.
If you've tried to pass through Kampala late at night, you may have seen this.
I've not done that.
In fact, does it have to be late? Just 10 p.m., 9 p.m.
9 years.
9 p.m., you're going to see these guys sleeping. You look at these people and like, where did these people come from? Don't they have families? Don't they have their children? Don't they have, grandchildren? Why are they on the streets? These people sit begging during the day. Not that in the evening they go back home. No, their homes are the streets of Kampala. They just enter sacks and sleep in the sacks.
No, that's now an abuse to the older persons.
So we should start with these ones.
Yes, we need to start with those ones. And I think it's a plea and a cry to, I plead to the government if we can do something, and they just give ahead to us, because some of us as NGO, we have land already, which we can put up a shelter, a home, a startup, and we can pick them and take them to their homes.
So all you need is government's approval or support?
Approval. It's just us to support the government. Yes, we support them as CSOs.
Oh.
Yes.
So all you need is approval?
Approval.
And I don't see the government here hesitating to approve this. Why would they? They also wouldn't want to see that. It has been
something we've been arguing on for some time. Yes.
And the government is blocking your efforts, your initiatives to help these
people? Not blocking, even them themselves, the older persons themselves, they don't want to
resisting.
They resist. Because they have attachment to the community.
I think it takes me back the question I was asking to you, what I was pointing out to you. Really, you cannot find that woman I was telling you about, a 90-year-old, who sleeps on the streets of Kampala in that coldness, and you tell her, Judge, let's go somewhere, there is this crib, you're going to be sleeping where? On a mattress, you're entitled breakfast and lunch and supper. And this person really is. And
that's such older person, they say where they are coming from.
I could join you on that.
Yes. This is where they are coming from. They have communities they are coming from. So we advise when they come
These ones you find their communities, they are right to refuse.
They are right to refuse. Maybe there's something
like,
that
if
happened.
I leave, my land is going to be taken. It's going to be grabbed. But this person on the street of Kampala here, who sleeps on the street, when trains like he did last evening, and you tell them, you see what? You know what we are taking, and they refuse. They
have where they are coming from. So even when we pick them, we have to attach. We have to look for where they are coming. Their route, where are they coming from? At least they have relatives.
Yes.
At least they have where they came from. If they were married and is now a widow, there's somewhere where she came from. So we attach them and we connect them back to their community, and we take them back, and we start taking care of them from there. Yes.
Tell me about this UN World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I see it's theme here as gender-based violence in old age, the call for action. The date is happening on June 15th?
It is happening on June 15th.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is the international, it was not gazetted yet, but now it is gazetted. No. Uganda. Yes.
Uganda's not patriotic.
Uganda
bracelet.
No, it's just, yes, even you have this.
Yes.
Now, what I can say, it is World Elderly Awareness Abuse Day. It's now a gazetted date. Actually, it's a holiday. Even I saw on the calendars this year, it has been gazetted. If it was weekday, it was supposed to be a holiday. This is when we commemorate the elderly abuse. And the theme was gender-based violence, a call for action against the older persons. There's too much that is happening among these undeserved, vulnerable, elderly people. So this day, it will be on 15th of June. It will be a Saturday that we shall be partnering with government, which will be held in Imperial Royal. And on this day, we just want to speak out our voices, raise our voices against the older persons' abuse, which is on the rise. It's something that we have
now,
not put.
You was into this. Share with us the forms of the abuses of the elders' rights. What forms do you have? Besides negligence, like you said about your granddad, who was
We have sexual abuse.
Excuse me?
Yes,
Shababa?
yes, we've had cases even
By who?
19. The youth. The last outreach we did in Kayunga, there is a lady, an older woman, 80 years old, whom we just picked from her heart and attached her to her own, because her heart was somewhere far from where the other family members are living. So we had to pick her and bring her closer to the family, because there was this group of youth who could go to that house, that hut, every evening to rape
Yes,
her.
sir.
Yes. Remember, it is a shame to them, older women, to just come up and say that we've been raped by their grandparents, their grandkids, the sons. Even the sons turn against them and they rape them.
The sons?
Yes. So they cannot just come out and say that I was raped. So they'll keep on holding it to themselves to keep their name
Have you had
in
some
the
people
community.
confess things to you? That
They
was
are
raped by
there.
my son.
They are there. Where we are operating
And
right now,
society.
deep down in the village, they are there. They are there. So this is the day that we really have to speak out, raise our voices, because they can't speak to them for themselves. And we tell the community, we tell the people in the district level, national level, community level, for sure these older persons have a right to live like any other person. Yes. We have also emotional abuse, mentally just tortured with your own children. That's an abuse. Yes. Now, like for the case of my granddad, he was emotionally tortured. He has
By your
given
uncles?
birth with 12 kids. They have given birth to grandchildren.
But
The only
you,
grandchild
before
who
you
came-
came out, you didn't appeal to your uncles and aunties, asking them why they neglecting your grandpa.
These are mature people. They are learned, they are doing well. They have women, wives, and my aunties are married to learned, educated husbands.
And the
It was
neglecting
just something that they were supposed
The man
to.
who brought you into this world.
And we realize also older women even suffer more than the older male.
Repeat that?
Older men even suffer more in old age than older women when their wives pass on. Because children tend to say, Daddy used to leave mommy to suffer with us when he has gone maybe to womanize or to the bar, not forgetting that this man used to work so hard and sends money back home for this woman who
I
was
think there now we are slowly diving into another big problem discount, and that is domestic violence, whereby
Domestic violence.
men are actually the victims who never come out to share their
share.
ordeal.
Yes,
They suffer in silence.
yes.
Because if that is the perception, these kids are like, okay, it's mom who used to suffer, hustle
Yes.
for us. Then you're
Yes.
just in your alcohol.
Yes.
But
Or
then-
you are in another town. Let's say you are in Rubirizi. Yeah, they are in Rubirizi and dad is in Kampala work, a truck driver.
And the people never ask themselves, okay, mom doesn't work. Where does she get the money to buy food that she feeds her? So,
But remember, that's the person they could see all the time when they are growing up.
yeah, they're not wondering where she gets the money.
Yes, but now when the woman dies first, what happened to my granddad? It's an abuse. She died first. But when she was there, the kids were supporting. They are always around them. But when this woman passed on, the man remained. Torture started. Because mentally he's tortured. Why was I getting full support when Mama was alive? Now my wife is gone, the kids are... So even when I went and asked my uncles and aunties, they could say, Dad used to do this.
I see the blame now shifting to the late mother of these children. Maybe she kind of made them hate their own dad.
No, sometimes even they have wrangles in the bedroom when he comes out crying. Kids always mentally know that
It
daddy
doesn't concern
beats.
if somebody's fighting with their spouse. You're just children. So let's talk about this four that are organized reviews.
Yes.
What?
Jafoa.
Jafoa. You kind of expound on that. What is it that you do? And,
Can I just add on that
Please.
abuse? We
Please.
also have physical abuse. We have also psychological abuse. Physical abuse, like the youth, that's why we are really trying so much to integrate the youth and the older person. It's something which the community we are really not looking into, but older persons are suffering. Then when it comes to issues like now the land issue, it's something like it's now a nightmare all over the country and other nations, because what affects Uganda affects other nations in Africa, because we are all blacks. So when it comes to land issue, that's why we speak out and tell these older persons, please, as you are aging, write a will. Because we've seen a lot of confusion when they pass and they have not left a will, and this is like 100 acres or 10 acres, even like 1 acre of land. The boys will come, the girls will not get anything, and all that confusion. Then you've also seen physical torture, where they are fought, and no one has to say anything. A case in place whereby this man, a son, marries a woman, and I think the woman or the wife had a misunderstanding with his real mother. The mother was 75 years. This boy comes, he was like 26, comes with a kiboko and tells the mom, sleep down, and I want to beat your bam bam because why do you harass my wife? This is a wife he has met in old age. So they really go through a lot of torture, and he really beat them.
Maybe these people also do these things. Maybe they're so mentally disturbed.
They're not mentally disturbed.
You cannot be stable in your state of mind. You get a stick and beat your mama.
And he beat him seriously, and this is really physical torture, and she cannot say anything.
How could you
She'll
get
hide
a cane
it.
and cane your father? These people also have a problem. You know, there's this report where they established that a very big percentage of Ugandans are mentally disturbed. Do you see that report? We could be living with mad people. There's nobody who's saying, how do you get a stick and you cane your own parents?
And he really caned the woman, and the woman was crying, telling him, Mutabani, Sonyuwa. And the wife is laughing at us. You see, that's the abuses that we should look into. Yes. The way we really fight for their rights and the rights for women. Yeah, women have come out there, they are speaking, and they're like, no, this is our right. Children's rights, they are
You have so many feminists as we compare to these people.
Older
That's why I was
persons.
surprised when the producer told me there's somebody who's advocating for the rights of the elderly. She's the one who brings us like, is she white?
No,
I was talking to
I'm
European
just
American
Malaika.
because in Africa here, it's like that's something that we've chosen not to fight for, because maybe we don't see need. The rights of the elderly. I don't see the things, you know, in Europe, in America, where people have at least well-stimulated programs where they, you know, they fight and advocate for the rights of the elderly, but not in Uganda or in Africa.
And actually, on that point, just 2-3 weeks back, I happened to be blessed to attend a UN conference at the headquarters for the UN, United Nations, and we were like 3,000 delegates. And when I raised my hand to ask a question about concerning older persons, because I could hear advocates for the feminists, advocates for the youth, for the children, for the girl child, for the teenage mothers, but no one. We were counted, we who were standing in for the older persons. So even at the UN level, we have the UN children, we have the UN women, the UN youth, but we've not yet come up with the UN older persons. So it's all starting from the grassroots. So that's why we are here as the grassroots NGOs, CSOs, to speak about this. Because where it starts from bottom to top, it involves the people on the ground, not from up to down, not from the UN to the bottom. It won't feel it. But when we are speaking from the grassroots, because we are the people who are in the community, on the ground, seeing what is happening, and we bring them out, these issues, just the way I was at the UN and I was asking the Secretary General, we have all these things, all these people you're fighting. What about the older persons? And they're like, oh, we shall think about it. And remember, we are all aging. Are you growing any younger?
No way.
We are getting there. And we believe we are going to live. We are not dying any soon. You shall live. The next 30 years I have to come here and see with the white hair.
There is
yes.
I think you are right to say that the government has done its part, because you see they recently introduced even a slot in parliament specifically
Yes,
for the elderly.
for the older persons.
Do you work alongside these people? Have you tried to reach out to them to see how they can, you know, take some issues that you see surrounding the rights of women so that they can also take them for discussion on the floor of parliament?
We do that. You remember protocol observed. We do that through our line ministry. That's the older person, the elderly ministry and disability. And it gets from the commissioner to the department of the elderly to the minister. And then also we have the member of parliament that represent the older persons in parliament. We work alongside each other. That's the way I started saying, we as CSOs, we support. We don't wait for government to give us, but we just supplement what government has not done, because it cannot do everything. So those holes, those issues that they have not finished, we finish.
Can't do everything, but it needs
can't.
to do something. These are senior citizens we're talking about. Yeah, like I told you earlier.
And they are voters.
They may not necessarily vote, but these are people who are at least protected our country, where we've picked it.
Yes.
But when I see 90-year-old, 70, 80 on the streets of Kampala, there are so many, I can tell you, there are so many people. Here on Market Street, there are so many lying in the streets. So, in fact, I was looking for one of the legislators there who's you know, presenting the elderly, and I want to bring
think
one
we
of
have
them
to
here.
pick up.
Ask them, what are you doing in Parliament? Have you seen your age mates here lying in the streets of Kampala? What plans are you holding? You never even bring this for discussion for floor Parliament. But it's a good thing that you have come up. You, the advocates of the rights of the... So you're telling us about this, it's
Jaffoa.
Jaffoa.
Yes.
Objectives besides, you know...
Just as I said, the objectives or our programs, I got them from my granddad. So I never knew it will be an NGO one day.
That was inspiration.
That was my inspiration, was to make his life better, and I continued with my academia, with my professional.
Yes. Lives, right?
Yeah.
Must be proud of him.
So after that, when things just turned, and I'm like, okay, here, and it was like he was commanding, but I didn't know it was the Lord's plan. Like, my passion and my purpose to be here was for the elderly. So Jaffoa is Jehovah Life for the older persons, and our main objectives are health and healthcare. We really do a lot concerning the health care of the older persons. We support them in agriculture and in nutritional support, and then we ensure they have balanced diet food. Remember now, my granddad never used to have what to eat. So there we always make sure that there is food security. Their gardens, we make sure that we support them with like seedlings, because most of them, they are caretakers for the youth and children. And then we also support the orphan, vulnerable children. We are so blessed as Jaffoa. At our stage, we've been able to take some orphans back to school as we speak. Yes.
That's a good thing.
And then we advocate advocacy and capacity building, humanitarian and crisis support. We do that, and then community-based activities, whereby we ensure every 10 houses, they be together, they encourage themselves. So that's where we bring in the spiritual support. And in those meetings, per 10 per house, we have a leader, and then they have a chairman. Those are now what we have done in the community level. And at that point, you'll hear this one tell you that, no, you know what, even at my home, this is happening. The other one will say, no, at my home this is happening. Then others, they also have good news, good stories. I will say, yes, I can do, I want to pass over this knowledge of herbs. I am a traditional doctor. I need to pass over this knowledge of herbs to someone. Malika, what can we do? So such things. And then I found out many of these older persons also, they trust in me. I have land titles.
Yeah,
I have secrets for them, and I feel so bad because this is what
they have entrusted with their property.
Yeah, this is what their own children are supposed to do. But now they just trust a stranger because they have found hope and comfort in Jaffa, and they're like, keep for me this, I think they're not safe in this hut that I'm living in. As if these are life stories that I get on the ground. That's why I started by saying, when you work from the grassroots, from bottom to top, you really feel what people feel down there. When someone tells me you sleep hungry, I know what it means. When a widow cries, I know what it means for a widow, older widow to cry, older widower to cry. When a disabled older man or older woman is crying, but he was normal at adulthood. He was very normal when he was a youth, but he's aging with disability. I can reflect that my granddad was aging with he was lame now, blind, but he was a strong man. But because of the abuse, the elder abuse, the emotional abuse, the sexual abuse, because the children told him, you cannot marry again, you're old. You see those things? So it tortures them. And someone just ages with a disability. Others, they age, they're blind. Others, they can't speak because of also other related sicknesses and disease, the diabetes, the hypertension. But we bless the Lord. Jaffa is here. Voice for the voiceless. We speak on their behalf, and we believe we shall change their lives, the community for the undeserved, the older persons. And to find us, we have a humble office in...
Because we're about to get up here.
Yeah,
we
have a humble office in Kira Road. We are doing a good job for Kira older persons as well. We're in Kampala in the city, but Kira, yes, we are doing good job. We have done great job in Kayunga, in Dura. We are still expanding. We are a registered NGO at national level. You are not an ACBO. By the grace of God, I think we are doing better, good, or well. And
we're changing lives.
We are changing lives. Yes.
There are so many that have lost hope, like I told you, maybe one time I'll move with you one evening.
I need to do that because I've never seen them.
9 p.m., spare time, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., just pass, just to the market, you're going to see so many.
I think I'm an early bed. I go to bed by 7. So I think I'll have to make a book with
as a believer, you always say that it's a calling from God.
Yes.
That God has called you.
Yeah.
Please, take that
I
travel
need to
and
do
see
that.
those people.
Yes. And then, as
that's why I'm like, I wish I had something to do, but I got me.
Jaffa is here. I'll have to look into that, and we see how we can help them in partnership with the Ministry of Gender and other stakeholders that are in the same line. And at Jaffa, we also have our website, to just confirm, to cross-check our notes that we are legit. We have our social media handles. At our website is www.jaffoa.org. You can click on the donation box as well. You can donate anything that you have. We receive donations both in kind and financially, even praying for us to stand. It's not an easy job because moving with trusted secrets for people, their land titles, their wills, it's really risky. I'm in that middle of will the kids
when this pass on, you actually will have
I'm just so lucky none has passed on.
Your hands, because these kids be like, okay, now it's on.
But fortunately,
have you
luckily
encouraged them
enough,
to write wills? Because that's very important now that you're having their property.
Yes.
It's very important for them to decide on how they want their properties to be shared when they are no longer in the picture.
And that's
so
now,
wills.
yes, now that's what we are speaking out, preaching out there to them as we go to the community, because we've seen they're abused physically on their own property, what they worked for.
I've seen that before.
Yes, like for your case, you're now working, you're getting some little properties. When you be aged, then your son just comes out and it's like, it's mine. It's so sad. So we encourage them to write the wills. Yes, and I also taught my team, when we go there, we give also psychosocial support. We have a desk for mental well-being. We have Dr. Sally, who is in charge of that. So it's a wholesome NGO that deals with everything concerning health and healthcare. Some of these older persons, they're not sick, but they just want to hear someone tell them, you're still handsome, you're still strong.
We have to get out of here, Ms. Malaika. We have to let
Thank you
go.
so much.
Any last words you want to share with our viewers?
I think my last word is, in this walk of life, we don't give out of abundance. I think blessed are they that give than receive, and that's the principle I've walked in, and to be a voice for the undeserved, to fight for the rights of they that are undeserved, the vulnerable. I think it's a plus, because you don't see the results now, but you are proud, and I'm so proud and happy with my team that we work with. We are changing a life. A life is being changed. When that older person comes and says, oh, Jaffa came here. They don't say Malaika, but they say, the Jaffa team came here. They're the ones who got me the wheelchair. They're the ones who got me the glasses. We have changed a life. So at that point, we're just adding life to a life that was already there, but in a better way.
And I know how those people can really appreciate, even when you do something like for them.
Yes.
As somebody was raised by my grandmother, I want to tell you that you're doing a very good job. Yes, I was raised by my grandmother. I was an orphan at a young age. Oh. Thank you so much. You're doing something very, very good. May God bless you. Thank you, our viewers. We've come to the end of the show. Thank you for watching BTM TV. May the good Lord be with you until we meet again tomorrow. Goodbye for now. See you then.
Thank you so much.